ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। सुमुखश्च एकदन्तश्च कपिलो गजकर्णकः लम्बोदरश्च विकटो विघ्नराजो विनायकः धूमकेतुर्गणाध्यक्षः फालचन्द्रो गजाननः वक्रतुण्डः शूर्पकर्णो हेरम्बः स्कन्दपूर्वजः शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। यस्य द्वरदवक्त्राद्या पारिषद्या परस्ततं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय कृष्णाय अक्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदान्तवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वभूतहिते रतं वेदाब्जभास्करं वन्दे समाधिनिलयं मुनिं जन्माद्यस्य यतः अन्वयात् युतरतश्च अर्थेषु अभिघ्नः स्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायः आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत् सूरयः तेजोवारिमृतां यथा विनिमयो यत्र सर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि दर्भः प्रोचितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवम् अत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृदि अवरुध्यते अत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषिभिः तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिकाः भुवि भावुकाः यं प्रव्रजन्तम् अनिपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरह कातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवः अभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि यः स्वानुभावम् अखिलश्रुतिसारम् एकम् अध्यात्मदीपम् अतितितीर्षतां तमोन्धम संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. Now with Bhagavan's grace, let us continue from where we left off in our last session. We came up to slokam number 5 in Adhyayam 9, Skandam number 4. Now slokam 6 onwards to 17 in this Adhyayam is Dhruva Stuti, Dhruva's worship to Bhagavan Srimad Narayana. And because Swami has come giving him darshan and the Bhagavan, when he looks at him, the Swarupam that he was doing dhyanam and kept it in his hridayam for the past 4 months, that form vanished, so he opened his eyes, and that form was right standing in front of him. And so because the body has not been fed with its nutrition, it was very weak, so he could not speak. Bhagavan, in his infinite compassion, touched his cheek with his conch, with his shankam, and immediately the Dhruva started speaking. Not the way that you and I speak. These are all exalted experience of prema with corresponding words that accompany it. That can happen only at that level. And so he has understood, not understood, he has known the truth, the tattvam, Paramatma, Jivatma, etc. None of all those things. So It is unstoppable, torrential flow of love. And with that, he started in a very relaxed manner, no hurry. Worshipping Bhagavan, what is the hurry? So, very beautiful. Asat Param is the padam that in the previous slokam number 5, Asat Param. That means without haste, not hurrying. That means very calmly, very relaxed manner, very peacefully, without any agitation, complete flow of love. Then Abhyakranat is the last slokam, the last word. He started worshipping him. So Dhruva Uvacha, and Dhruva said in slokam number 6, he says, the one that who is all powerful, which that Bhagavan, who has entered inside, and because he has entered inside, my speech, my hand, my legs, my ears and my skin and all the other indriyangal, the senses, all these have been made alive because he has entered it. With his tejas, they all come alive. That Bhagavan, that Paramapurushan, to him namaskaram. Remember, recall in Skandam 3, when Maitreya was describing the process of creation, the various aspects that went to it. We went through all that, right? All the 24 elements. But all of them could not do anything. So they all prayed to Bhagavan. Swami, we can't, what is it? We don't know. Everything is just static. So then Bhagavan enters it, and that's how the harmony, that's how everything starts being activated. Please remember that. This is the difference between Shavam and Shivam. The body, my body has got eyes, it has got senses of perception, senses of actions. Everything is there. But the life force, Bhagavan, if the tejas is not present, they cannot function. If Bhagavan tejas is not present, my eyes, even though they see something, even though my eyes are there, very beautiful, nothing wrong with them, except I will not be able to see. I will not be able to speak. We all know that from personal experience. That Bhagavan, to him, namaskaram. What he has been praying, he has been doing dhanam for the past 4 months. This is the 5th month now. And he realizes that it is not he who is doing it. He has known that. That's a personal realization that has come to him. It is Bhagavan's stages. It's all you, Swami. Brahmarpanam brahmahavihi brahmagnau brahmanahutam brahmaivatena gandavyam brahma karma samadhina. As it says in Bhagavad Gita, same thing. Let us take up Padarthangal. We will also, with Swami's grace, enjoy this Dhruva Stuti Asat Param without haste, in a relaxed manner, in a loving manner, so that with Bhagavan's grace that we are all able to touch him. Okay, he is very much touching us, but I need to touch him. So the Padangal, the first slokam, number 6, Yonta pravisya mama vacham imam prasuptam sajjivayati akila shakti darah sadhamna anyascha hastacharana sravanatva adina pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. Dhruva uvacha Yonta pravisya mama vachamimam prasuptam sanjiyati akila sakti darah swadhamna anyamscha hastacharana sravana tvak adina prananam namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. Now, The padangal are yaha antaha pravisya mama vacham imam prasuptam sanjiyati. That you understand that Sanskritam now. I'm beginning to understand, I'm sure. Akila Sakti Daraha Swadhamna Anyascha Hasta Charana Sravana Tvag Adine Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam. Now, one of the first prayer slokam in Srimad Bhagavatam itself, Janmadhyasya Yataha Anvayat, that slokam, we recite that. If you look at that, in that slokam, there is a word called Dhamna that comes. So Swadhamna, in his own power, in his own Shakti, in his own Tejas, okay? The effulgence, it is not borrowed from anywhere. It is not a reflected effulgence. It is his own. Okay, because he is the Tejas itself. It is not coming from else. This is so important. All of us, everything in the world is effulgent because that is Bhagavan's effulgent. Please understand that. And so, now going through Padarthangal, Akila Shakti Daraha Yaha Antapravisya Prasuptam Imam Mama Vacham Hasta Charana Sravana Tvak Adina Anyan Pranancha Swadhamna Sanjivayati. That looks like a long sentence, so that I'm putting it that way so we can understand it in English. Okay. Again, Akila Shakti Daraha Yaha Antapravisya Prasuptam Imam Mama Vacham Hasta Charana Sravana Tvak Adine Anyan Pranancha Swadhamna Sanjivayati. You know very much Sanjiva Malai, Sanjiva Parvatam. We all heard that in Ramayanam. So that is something that resuscitates you, refurbishes you, rejuvenates, gives you back your life, makes you alive. Many ways we can describe Sanjivayati, right? So, Akila Shakti Dharaha, the one who is all powerful. Not only that, the Akila all Shakti, the powers, Dharaha, the supporter. Everything comes from him only. Okay, because of that he is a Dharaha. Okay, so the Akila Shakti Dharaha, Yaha, who, which Bhagavan, Antapravisya, that you understand, entering inside. Okay, entering inside. Antaha, inside, internally, entering, Pravisya, to enter. Not that he was not there before, inside also, but this is the act, so that we can understand it. The whole thing, it is not like Bhagavan is present outside the body and he has to enter. No. It is not like that at all. Look at it this way. There is a source of radiation, okay, energy, so we can understand it scientifically. That source, that energy radiates. Now, when the radiation goes and falls on what we call as an object or whatever, in a way where the object materializes. Okay? See, there is a vibration there, radiation, there's a vibration, and then materialization. That energy radiates, and what we call in English as a local vibration, and then whatever vibrates materializes it. In a way, we can cognize it. So everything is actually inside only, or it means like giving the life force. So antapravisya, that means from vibrating it, so that it can become alive. Akila Saktidaraha yaha antapravisya prasuptam. Okay, prasuptam means there's something that is lying dormant, latent, asleep. What is it that is lifeless. Like if you look at a corpse is lifeless, isn't it? And so that is prasuptam. So it is like a dormant, that the life energy which was activating it has left it. That vibration is not taking place there. Okay? So that prasuptam, the dormant, asleep. What is asleep? Imam mama vacham hasta charana sravana tvak adine anyan pranam cha. Imam, all these, mama, my, vacham, speech, hasta, hand, charana, legs, sravana is ears, tvag means skin, adin, all these, and anyan pranam cha, other senses also. Senses of perception only, senses of action are also there. All of them, anyan pranam cha, Swadhamna sanjivayati, with his own effulgence, with his own shakti, with his own power. Sanjivayati, he rejuvenates, refurbishes, reactivates, gives life to. That Bhagavate Purushaya, that Bhagavan Paramapurushan, Tubhyam, to you, Namaha, Namaskaram. That Bhagavan, which is you, he tells Srimad Narayana appearing before him. That Bhagavan, Yaha Antapravisya, that Bhagavan, you are also within my Hrudayam only, Antapravisya, I could see you there. But now you are standing in front of me. You cannot escape from me. Tubhyam, Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam. Namaha, Namaha, I bend down, I worship you. Yontak pravisya mama vacham imam prasuptam sanjivayati akila shakti dharasvadhamna anyancha asta charana sravanatvat adina pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. Number 7, he says, Swami, you are only one, Ekam Sat. But being one, through your Maya, the power of delusion, the power of separation, through the various gunangal, the impulses, through that, with your own Shakti, remember the 24 aspects we talked earlier. You created all that. Bhagat Tattvam, etc., etc. And all those materialized in Maya, in your own Yoga Maya only. They are not real. But you created them with your delusion. And then, actually, they're all nothing. They actually are lifeless. They don't mean anything without you. We are all zeros, as Swami says, and we have to, for us to have value, I must have a one in front of me. Then only the zero gets a value, isn't it? I can add billions of zeros. All of us are like that, but there is only one in the beginning. Only that's the one that gives all of us value, to look at it mathematically. So like that, all these elements, all these aspects, Gunangal, Trigunangal, Prakriti, Mahatattvam, Ahamkaram, Kalam, all the things we talked about. And from there, from Ahamkaram came all the other things, sense organs, actions of then Karmendriyangal, etc., etc. We saw all that, But all these are actually Asat Kuneshu. They're not real. But you entered, you created all of them, and you may activated them. How is it possible? It's not like you're entering from outside. Remember again the radiation, vibration, and materialization. When something materializes, you and I materialize, for example, as an object in a certain form, it does not mean the life force came from outside to us and entered us. No. Life force was already present within us. And that vibrated and materialized as the object that you and I are. Okay? How is it? The same way, like if you take a piece of wood, how the fire is present within it, the same way you are present in all the beings. I hope that's clear. Okay? Very important. Bhagavan is not entering you and me from outside. He is manifesting as you and I from within. Please, he's present within, without, everywhere. He is there. So, number 7. Let us take the slokam. Ekastvameva bhagavan idam atma shaktya maya khyaya urugunaya mahadadi asesham. Asesham means completely, without any residue. Bhagavan is present, you and me. Because not when we say divine principle, we think it is sitting somewhere inside us and then operating us. No. It is present all through our body. The effulgence, the Shakti, present everywhere. Please, we got to understand it very carefully. Okay? Srishtvanu visya purushas tadasat guneshu naneva darushu vibhava suvat vibhasi ekastvameva bhagavan idam atma shaktya maya kyaya urugunaya mahadadi asesham srishtvanu visya purushas tadasat guneshu naneva darushu vibhava suvat vibhasi ekah tvameva bhagavan idam atma shaktya mayakyaya urugunaya mahad adi asesham srishtva anuvisya purushah tad asad guneshu Nana iva darushu vibhavasuvat vibhasi. Once more, Yekaha Tvameva Bhagavan Idam Atma Shaktya Mayakyaya Urugunaya Mahad Adi Asesham Srishtva Anuvisya Purushaha Tadasad Guneshu Tat Asad Guneshu Naneva darushu vibhavasuvat vibhasi. Ye Bhagavan, Tvam ekaha eva, urugunaya, mayakyaya, atmashaktya, mahad adi, asesham, srishtva. Srishtva, having manifested, having created. Okay, that's what it's Srishtva. Okay. So, the sentence is, again, Bhagavan Tvam Ekaha Eva Urugunaya Mayakyaya Atmashaktya Mahadadi Asesham Srishtva. Tvam, you, Ekaha eva, being only one. There is no external. If I want to create something, you and I want to create something, whatever it may be, you want to cook something, you want to write something, sing a song, or make a project, drive a car, whatever you want to do, you need number of things. You need time, you need the Shakti to do it, and you need the materials to do it, and you not to have a process of doing it. So many things. It doesn't come just from you. But here, Bhagavan, everything, there's no external material from which he created. There's no external time from which he borrowed. No, nothing like that. Everything from within. So very important to understand. Tvam ekaha eva, only you, with only one. Urugunaya maya akhyaya. Urugunaya, many permutations and combinations of gunangal. The three basic gunangal are permuted and combined in so many ways, dynamic way that in our life we all know. So, and maya akyaya. Akya means called. It's called like this, we say like that. So, right? And so maya is something that is called maya. Maya kyaya, the named as maya, which is nothing but gunangal, and the maya kyaya srishtva. You created that, manifested that. But ekameva urugunaya mayakeya srishtva. By yourself being one, you created this maya. Then ekaeva atmasaktiya srishtva. See, this is important. You created that only from within yourself, with your own shakti. Okay, not from anything external things. No. Atmasaktiya you srishtva. And what did you create? Okay, ekameva mayakiya srishtva atmasaktiya srishtva. What did you create? What happened? Mahatadi asesham srishtva. Mahat tattvam ahamkaram kalam prakriti. We saw that earlier, and from there subsequent creations took place, manifestations, expansions, permutations, combinations took place. You created all this Atmasaktiya, Bhagat Adi Asesham Srishtva. Asesham, very important. It is not like Bhagavan is present only in one aspect of what we see. No, totally, without any residue, without any balance. Completely he is present. Asesham Srishtva. Okay. So these are all now manifested. They all now materialized, but they have to become active. For that, Asat Guneshu Anupravisya is one word, or Anuvisya. Asat Guneshu Anuvisya. Srishtva Tat Asat Guneshu Anuvisya. After creating that, Tat in that, Asat Guneshu, because these are all really not true. All these Gunangal, all these Sattvic Gunam, Rajasic Gunam, Tamasic Gunam, everything is an illusion. Okay? And because of these Gunangal, all kinds of things are imagined. The moment I imagine, I create it. Please understand. Okay? In reality, there is no gross form. My mind has imagined a gross form, therefore I believe it. There's really no gross form. And our mind is creating that based upon the three Gunangal. Please understand. This is the fundamental thing to realize and keep on. If you have not understood it, think about it. It will become clear. And that is Maya only. And through the three Gunangal, it is created. It is Asat Guneshu. It is not true. But as you play, you've done that, just like a mirage, just like a reflection that's happening. And Anuvisya, Tat Anuvisya, you have entered that, which you are activating that, giving it life. Okay? How is it? Darushu Vibhava Suvat Nana Darushu Vibhava Suvat. Let's take that. Darushu means wood, piece of wood. Marakattai we say in Tamil. Vibhava Suvat, how the Agni, the fire is present within. Not visible, but it is there. Like that, Nana Purusha Iva Vibhasi, all these various Nana, all these many Purusha Iva, all these embodiment, the various beings in the world that we see, all of them, Vibhasi, you shine. You are showing yourself, you are effulgent, you are bright, shining. You are there in just the way Agni, a fire is latent, present in the wood. And again, Agni is not just the fire that when you light a match to a piece of wood, the wood burns. Then we see the flame. That is only a form of the Agni. The Agni is a Shakti present inside that appears as a flame. Understand that, please. Agni is our life force. That same Agni is also our digestive force. Okay? And that Agni is very, very important and is present within everything, not just as a source of fire. Please don't think of it like that. See, this is the energy, it's one form. So like that, you are shining, not only activating the various beings, but you're also shining or effulgent. Okay, you're latent, but you're effulgent. ekastvameva bhagavan idam atmashakya mayakyaya urgunaya bhagatadi asesham srishtva anuvisya purushah tadat tat asad guneshu nane eva darushu vibhava suvat vibhasi. Again he says, why is he saying this? Swami, I've placed you, I was seeing you, it's in me, right? Because you are present within me, just like the way the Agni is present. That's it. He's talking from personal experience, not somebody teaching him. All these, both the two slokas so far that we have covered, are his personal anubhavam. Okay? It is not just a Vedic teaching and we still read in a book and go. It is a Bhakta, a Bhagavata talking to Bhagavan. Swami, I've seen you, I've touched you, you are there, you are like this. Okay? Now, let us see if we have time to take, let's take at least one more. Next slokam, 8. In 8 he says, Swami, you are a Dina Bandhu. Dina Bandhu means what? Dina means one who's lovely, unsupported, suffering, no other support, nowhere to go to. Okay? For him, who's a true relative? Most of us, most of the things that we see in the world are like frogs in the well, as they say. So long as there is water in the well, there are frogs running around. But the moment the well becomes dry, you can't see a single frog. Like that, the nature of the world is, so long as you have power and influence and money and whatever else that others need, there will be lots of friends, lots of people will be roaming around you. But the moment you are devoid of all this, who is going to care for you? Only Bhagavan. He is the true Bandhu. He is a true Mitra. He is a true relative. He is a true friend. So, Dina Bandhu. And that's really addresses. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself because it's also powerful, the way that Dhruva is talking. And he says, Swami, Brahmadeva surrendered to you. He did tapas. First he had ego that he had been chartered, he has to do some work. Then he realized he didn't know what it was. He did not know anything. Everything was dark, which means ignorance, right? Ajnanam. Then he tried to find Srimad Narayana because he saw this lotus stalk on which he was seated, so he thought, okay, maybe something there on the other end of the lotus stalk where I can find. So he tried to do it, and he didn't succeed. Then he became humble, Vinayam. He did tapas. Tapas means mind focus on what is it? Swami, who is this? Who is that question? That's all. And then Bhagavan gave him the darshan that we call as Srimad Narayana today, which is Anantasayana, which is Kshirasagaram. He's lying down on the bed of Adisesha and this lotus stalk coming out and the lotus flower there. That is the darshan that Brahma got seated on top of that lotus flower. Swami gave him a darshan because he surrendered to him, surrendered to the truth, the Satyam. What is it? What is it? What is that? That's a Satyanveshanam. With Vinayam, he did that tapas, right? We read about that. Then, moment he did that, Bhagavan gave the darshan, as we see in the very first slokam, the prayer slokam also. The same thing happened. Bhagavan taught him the Vedic knowledge, right? That knowledge means what? Jnanam. The ajnanam was removed, right? That because he surrendered to you. And because of that, Brahmadeva realized, oh, I am not doing anything. I'm just an instrument. The operator of the instrument. I am just only a flute. The person who plays the flute is somebody else. All I have to do is to not block the holes, not block the music that is coming through the holes. I should not block it. Let it flow. That is all you and I have to do. That's what he realized. The moment he realized, he saw that, he understood. Bhagavan not only gave him the darshan, but also taught him what his job was. And job is very simply, you don't have to do anything. All the thing that is to be created is already in my womb. It's already present. All you have to do is to bring it out and manifest. That's all. Everything is done. That's why at the Pralayam we all go back, including Brahma goes back into Swami's womb, as we say. So he got, Brahmadeva got not only the darshan of Sriman Narayana, with his grace, also understood what is this prapancham, right? The whole thing he could see. And the moment he saw it, all the prapanjangal, all the planets, the lights and everything we talk about today, the moment Brahmadeva had that darshan, that was created. As simple as that. Created in a sense, it manifested itself. That creating power is creating Shakti, what we call as our imagination, that Shakti behind our imagination, that is Brahma. But with Vinayam, Bhagavan darshan was given because he surrendered to it. The same way, Swami, Nirva tells Sriman Narayana, you gave him the jnanam because he surrendered to you. The surrender is so important. Surrendering what? Surrendering my ego. Very important. Ahamkaram. I am doing something. I have this job. No. Bhagavan is doing it. It is his job. So I'm only an instrument. Very important to understand this. First understand, then practice. So once he surrendered to you, Swami, you removed his ajnanam. The moment ajnanam was removed, jnanam was shining in effulgence, and he could see the whole creation right in front of him. Same way, in your lotus feet, that grants mukti itself, freedom from the cycle of birth and death, the permanent abode from which there is no return. Because all this Trivadi, that lotus feet grants it, how can anybody that has got gratitude, how can he forget those lotus feet for me, is what he says. How is it possible for that person who is grateful to forget your lotus feet? How beautifully he says that, where does it put me? You've got to think. I think, where is my gratitude? Swami, Bhagavan has given so much. Without him, I cannot live. Without him, I cannot do anything. But am I grateful to him? Do I think of him? At least think of him and offer my gratitude. So this is the beautiful lesson from Dhruva. How can anybody forget your lotus feet, Swami? Anybody who is grateful, he says. Let us take those padangal because these are so powerful. I need to stop myself here. Okay, number 8 is Tvad-dattaya vayunaye dadam achashta Tvad-dattaya vayunaya idam achashta visvam supta prabuddha iva nata bhavat prapannaha tasya pavargya sharanam tava padamulam vismaryate krutavida katam arthabandho Tvad-dattaya vayunaya idam achashta visvam supta prabuddha iva nata bhavat prapannaha tasya apavargya sharanam tava padamulam vismarjate krutavida katam arthabandho. Padangal. Tvad-dattaya vayunaya idam achashta visvam supta prabuddha iva nata bhavat prapannaha tasya apavargya sharanam tava padamulam vismaryate katam vismaryate, to go beautifully, vismaryate Krutavida katam arthabandho, he says. Tvat dattaya vayunaya idam achashta visvam supta prabuddha iva nata bhavat prapannaha tasya apavargya sharanam tava padamulam visparyate krutavida katam arthabandho. Arthabandho, artha, arthi, artharthi, jignasu, jnani. The four types of bhaktargal. All are good. Swami welcomes everyone. Arthi means one who is suffering, miserable, lots of miseries. Not only monetarily. Artharthi means one who desires monetary wealth. Arthi means one who has got sufferings, lots of sufferings, miseries, difficulties, problems in life. So all of us have this. So Arthabandho, the true relative, the true Bandho means one who is binding him, one who is taking care of him. All these are people who suffer and going through difficulties. Who's actually embracing them? Who's actually hugging them and carrying them through? So Bandham means bondage. Not Bhagavan is, we're all in the embrace of Bhagavan. Okay? And especially Arthabandho, many people suffer without any help from anybody, suffer silently, and even when they seek help, people dismiss them and throw them away, push them away. So many ways happens in life, isn't it? But who's actually hugging them and doesn't let go? The true relative, oh Swami, you are that one, Arthabandho ye Natha. Natha means not leader, Natha means the protector, the one who's carrying my burden and he protects my welfare and my well-being. Truly, truly, the one person who wants my welfare and my well-being, your welfare, your well-being, truly speaking, is Bhagavan only. Nobody else. Because this is exactly what Dhruva's mother Suniti told him, right? Go there. He's the one who can help you, not me. Who can help whom in this world? Truly speaking, who can help whom in this world? Nobody has the Shakti, power to do it. Right? Not because they're all bad or anything. No. Nobody has the Shakti to do it. Period. Whereas Bhagavan is the only one. So go to him. And that's what he says. Arthabandho ye nata. Bhavat prapannaha. The one who surrendered to you. Bhavat to you. Prapannaha surrendered. Who is this Brahmadeva? The one who surrendered to you, Brahmadeva. What happened to him? Why I'm saying Brahmadeva? Why the translation Brahmadeva? Because what comes later. Bhavat prapannaha sukta prabuddha iva tvat dattaya vayunaya idam visvam achashta. So all those things, if we take this as a sentence, then it becomes clear. Tvat bhavat prapannaha sukta prabuddha iva vayunaya idam visvam achashta. Achashta means one who perceived, who cognized, who saw it. Okay? Bhavat prapannaha, the one who surrendered to you, that Brahmadeva, Supta Prabhutta iva, one who is like waking up from sleep. Supta Prabhutta iva, waking up sleep. Tvadattaya, given by you. Vayunaya, the knowledge, the jnanam. The knowledge itself was given by you, which means ajnanam was removed by you. Because of that, idam visvam achashta, this world, this prapanjam achashta, he perceived. That, tasya, that, tava apavargya sharanam, tava your apavargya sharanam, apavargya, the final place of refuge, the place that grants freedom. Apavargya sharanam, your lotus feet. Sat padamulam, that sharanam, the place of surrender. Padamulam, your tiruvadigal, your lotus feet, because that's where Brahmadeva surrendered. That padamulam, your lotus feet, tava padamulam, your lotus feet, your feet, tiruvadi as we say in Tamil, Kruta Vida. We'll take a minute or two to beautifully explain this word. Kruta Vida. Vid means to know. Vida, one who's knowing, one who knows. Krita, Krita means action, it's simply put. But what is it? What action that he knows? When somebody does something to help you, for your benefit, that one who knows that I've benefited from this, therefore, what should I do? I should be grateful to him throughout my life. Kritavida means being grateful. One who is grateful, gratitude. Very important. Unfortunately, it's one of the most primary qualities. Vinayam and the humility and gratitude are the most important in the spiritual journey. So, Sat Padamulam, your lotus feet, Kritavida, the one who is grateful, by the one who is grateful, Khatam Vismaryate, how can it be forgotten? He says, one who is grateful with gratitude, how can he forget your lotus feet? That grants mukti itself. Because that is where Brahmadeva surrendered and with your grace got the ajnanam removed and shone in jnanam itself and could see the whole creation. Tadattaya vayunaya idam achashta visvam supta prabuddha iva natha bhavat prapannaha tasya apavadya sharanam tava padamulam vismaryate krutavida khatam arthabandho. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Kayena vacha manasendriyaiva buddhyatmana va prakrutehe swabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. Om tat tat swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम.